Good afternoon, I'm Sam.
And I'm Mike.
And welcome to a crash course overview, Ulysses.
My dad.
Wrong Ulysses, Mike. Ulysses by Lord Tennyson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before we read the poem, here's a little bit about the author. Lord Alfred Tennyson was born on August 6, 1809 in Salisbury, Lincolnshire, England. From a young age, he fell in love with poetry.
At the age of 12, he wrote his first 6,000-line epic poem. He's one of the most loved Victorian poets of his time.
Due to struggles at home with his father and siblings, at the age of 18, Lord Alfred Tennyson escaped home and attended Trinity College.
In Salisbury, Tennyson met Arthur Hallam, who had an instant success together. In the same year, they published Poems by Two Brothers.
This helped create a friendship between the two that they thought would never end. However, just 6 years later, in 1833, Hallam became ill and passed away.
This came as a shock to Tennyson, but also led to some of his best works, including Passing of Arthur, and Moran, and what we'll be discussing today, Ulysses.
On October 6, 1892, Lord Alfred Tennyson died at the age of 83 from gout.
And now with the poem.
It little profits that an idle king, by the still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I emit and doil, unequal laws unto a savage race, that hoard, and sleep, and feed, and know not me. I cannot rest from travel, I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me, and alone, and on shore, when through skying drifts the rainy hades vex the dim sea. I am become a name, for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, for on the ringing plains of windy Troy, I am part of all that I have met.
Yet all experience is an arch where through gleams that untravel world whose margins fades. For forever and forever, when I move, how dull is it to pause, to make an end, to rush unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little, and of one to me, little remains. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and a vial it were, for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire, to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought.
This is my son, my own Telemachus, to whom I leave the scepter and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor, by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, descent not to fail, in offices of tenderness, and pay me adoration to my household gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine.
There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, the gloom, the dark, broad seas, my mariners' souls that have toiled and wrought, and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, and you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil, death closes all, but something ere the end, some work of noble note, may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices.
Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and setting well in order smite. The sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset, and the best of all the western stars, until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down, and maybe we shall touch the happy isles, and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. We are not now the strength which in old days moved heaven and earth. That which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
In the first stanza, Ulysses talks about how his riches and fame is not enough for him. He talks of how he is unlike the other people he knows. They do not understand what he's like. He mentions the fact that his wife is now old, inferring that he is too old. When he says, "I cannot rest from travel," He's saying that he still wants to go out and explore, even though he's very old and already has fame. He reflects on how he has been to great cities through vast seas. He recalls his battles, especially the Battle of Troy. He talks about how he is bored, and how if he continued to explore, more of the world could be discovered. In the last 3 lines, he talks about how his spirit has been dulled down, that he has not been able to get out, go on adventures like he did when he was younger. In the second stanza, Ulysses introduces his son. He tells us how he differs from himself. Ulysses wants to travel in the world in his old age and discover new things. His youthful son wants to stay in the kingdom and rule the people, rather than follow in his father's footsteps and travel the world. He says that when he is gone, the kingdom is his. However, his work will be his own, and Ulysses' work will be his, separate legacies. In the third stanza, Ulysses recalls the ship he sails, along with his fellow sailors. He describes them as brave and loyal. However, now they are old and fragile, he wants to go on one last adventure with them, to essentially go out with a bang. He wants to sail out and discover new things with his crew, like he did when he was younger. He encourages them by saying they may reach a newer and better place, such as the Happy Isles, which could be Valhalla or heaven, or even meeting the great Achilles, who was once part of the world. He ends by saying that they may be in old age, but their hearts and souls are still youthful and seeking one last adventure. You know the guy that snuck into Troy in a wooden horse? Well, that was Ulysses, our main character of the poem. At this point in his life, he has already had many wilderness adventures and has aged quite well. He has plans to give his kingdom away to his son Telemachus and sail away with his faithful sailors and continue to seek a newer world.
Okay. The main theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventure, wisdom, and meaning that makes life worth living. Tennyson uses Ulysses as an old man who is an adventurer and is unwilling to accept his old age, and longs for more quests.
I can relate with the same with my grandpa. He started his own chemical business, grew the company to a multi-million-dollar business, and sold it when he got to an age of retirement. Well, retirement didn't last very long. About 2 years later, he started another company, which he's already started making a great income from.
It is a continuous narrative poem. Its verses are blank. The tone throughout the poem is one of an old, humble man. Ulysses knows he is old, but still wants to explore the vast open world with his sailors.
And now for some literary devices. To rush unburnished, not to shine, is a metaphor for getting to your full potential. If you are fearful of doing new things because you are scared, or think you will fail, you never know what you truly are capable of. If Ulysses had been scared, and never snuck into Troy, he may have never won the war. You should never be scared to do something, only keen on doing it.
Happy Isles represents Ulysses' heaven, or even Valhalla for him. This is a very well-known, respectable, and even a holy place. This is where valiant war heroes and other heroes go when they pass away. He hopes to achieve this in his final adventures. The poem is not an apostrophe, but more of an open letter to his sons and his sailors, who have also aged towards the end of the poem.
The situation and irony of the poem is that the father is still wanting to explore and adventure while his son wants to stay home and manage the kingdom. Old age expectations versus young age expectations. Ulysses is a very old man who has already had his victories and fought his battles. For him to want to go out is even more ironic because he has already done so much. His son has yet to do all of his victorious things as his father. Yet, he wants to stay in his kingdom, even though he is young and full of potential.
And that's it for our crash course overview of Ulysses.
Project provided by Miss Maloney's Honors English 11 class. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Ulysses.
That's it for our crash course overview of Ulysses. No, that's not good.
Thank you. The synonyms of the main tile is really that it's the name of the main character.
Crash course is brought to you in part by.
If you see his West, come on, you gotta be like.
Man, I need another novel. Oh wait, do you need a novel? Well, here's a poem because I don't have any novels. Well, who is it by? It's by Ulysses. Oh, that's great.
No, it's by Lord Tennyson. You know, don't listen to this guy. You know what you really need? You need a poem by Ulysses. It's by Lord Tennyson, but we can't get it right.
Yo.
The poem's called Ulysses, but it's by Lord Tennyson. Look in your literature books.